Hello, welcome back again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing. I trust that you have started your fish venture. Once again, my name is Akinfish. If you've not subscribed, please click below here and subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, great. So today I want to talk about a question I get a lot: the production cost and profit of 1,000 fingerlings to juveniles. All right. So now we're assuming that you've got a water source. You're about to stock your fingerlings. So fingerlings currently in Nigeria today is April 2022, and fingerlings currently cost between 10 to 15 naira for one. So now you're writing down, right? Between 10 to 15 naira for one fish. That's fingerlings. And fingerlings are usually about 4 weeks old fishes. All right, they are usually between 4 weeks to 5 weeks. They pick like 1 mm. 1 mm is the size of feed. So think of something like beans, then think of gari, then think of stone or kulikuli. You know, they have different dimensions. So that's how the millimeter, the dimensions. So when we say 1 mm, it's smaller than 2 mm, it's smaller than 3 mm. Do you understand? So at fingerling stage, what they eat is 1 mm feed. And they are usually, the fishes are usually like 4 weeks to 5 weeks old, and they are sold for 15 naira, between 10 to 15 naira, depending on the size when you're about to buy it. And that's what you actually stock in your pond. All right, so that's one. Number two is that you can decide to go for juveniles instead, and juveniles is between 20 to 25 naira. Right now they are sold as much as 30 naira actually. All right, and what we do as a standard is that juvenile picks 2 mm feed. All right, so 2 mm, with my explanation, you now understand that 2 mm is bigger than 1 mm, all right? And fingerlings make 2 mm feed. So let's say you've decided to stock either fingerlings or juveniles. Don't forget, we're talking about the production cost of raising 1,000 fingerlings to table size, all right? So you stock your pond, whatever preparation you've done to your pond, and this can be either a concrete pond or a mobile fish pond, that's a tarpaulin fish pond, or an earthen pond. Most times I used to advise people not to stock fingerlings in an earthen pond directly, because I feel the fishes are still too small and then you can lose a lot of fishes. So if you are stocking directly to an earthen pond, I would recommend that you stock juveniles instead, all right? Because the fishes are bigger, they are hardy, and they are able to acclimatize easily to the environment, all right? So we stock juveniles, and you are raising the fishes for 5 months, 6 months. Now, I know that most times you've heard that you can get to 1 kg in 4 months. That's true. However, my question is, in 1,000 fishes, how many fishes will get to that 1 kg in 4 months? If I have 1,000 fishes and 20 of them get to 1 kg in 4 months, do I have 1 kg fishes? I don't. The majority of my fish should have gotten to 1 kg for me to be able to say I have 1 kg of fishes. Do you understand what I mean? So, for your fishes to actually get to 1 kg, 5 months is actually a more realistic target, all right? So that means you are going to raise the fishes for 5 months. And now, for you to be profitable, what happens is that I would advise that you start with imported feeds. Now, when you buy the fishes, I don't think there's a made in Nigerian feed that makes feed for fries to fingerlings. They are all imported feeds. So you're using ala aqua, or the person who bred the fishes is using maybe ala aqua or skretting or copens, those kind of feeds. Once you get the fishes, I always think it's best to continue with what the person is using. And don't forget, you are thinking of the smallest fish in your fish pond. So if the person says, they can eat 1.8 or they can eat 2 mm, don't also rush and buy 2 mm. Always think of the smallest fish in your pond, because if you feed only the biggest fish, the smallest fish cannot eat. But if you feed the smallest fish, the biggest fish can eat. Do you get that? Great. So yeah, I was saying that, so you buy whatever the person was using with maybe 1 kg, 2 kg, or a 5 kg bag. So you start with maybe ala aqua. And what I would advise is that if you start with maybe ala aqua or skretting, I didn't want to mention names of feeds. I try to avoid it, but so let me just mention all of them so I do not look as if I'm favoring either one. So ala aqua, skretting, copens, they are all, you know, good imported feeds to start with, all right? So you start with them until you see that all of them can pick 2 mm. So this should be about maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks of you stocking it in your pond, all right? And then you've probably used maybe 1 or 2 bags, 5 kg bags. when they are small, they don't eat so much. So you feed maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Scientists tell us that fish consume whatever is in their stomach within 4 hours. But because this is a profitable venture, it's not like you are feeding them to, it's not as if it's money. Do you understand what I mean? So I advise you feed like a 6-hour interval. So that means you feed 3 times a day at 6-hour intervals, all right? You get the best results. So we do that for the first maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. After that, all your fishes should be able to pick 2 mm conveniently. From there, I would advise that we switch to made in Nigerian feeds. So made in Nigerian feeds are cheaper than the imported feeds. I know a bag of, let me mention some made in Nigerian feeds. There is Vital feed, there is Blue Crown feed, there is EcoFloat feed, there is Top feed, then there are more indigenous, there are other branded bags as well. So a bag of that can be like 9/8 or 8/8, something like that, you know, and it's a 15 kg bag. So you now feed 2 mm. You feed that for the next maybe like 3 months or 2 months, all right? You're feeding twice. After they start picking 2 mm, you feed twice a day, all right? So morning, night consistently. And in about 4 months, thereabout, for 1,000 fishes, you should have spent maybe about 300 naira per fish, thereabout, in about 4 months, getting to 4 months, all right? So, and that's when they now start eating crazy. By the time they get to like 3 months, 2 weeks, 3 months, 3 weeks, they will be eating money. You know, the bags are expensive. They are eating maybe like 2 or 3 bags a day. You can imagine. So if you are doing 1,000 fishes, by the time you get to like 5 months, 6 months, you probably should have spent between the range of 600 to 700 naira per fish. All right, so that means you can do the math. If I said we are doing a production cost of 1,000 fishes, and I said you will spend between 600 naira to 700 naira to raise 1 kg of fish, all right, using this formula of imported feeds first and then made in Nigerian feeds. But most times, what I do on my farm is that by the time the fishes are 3 months, I start feeding once per day. All right, once per day. You feed once every day, because yes, if you feed twice per day, the fishes will grow faster. However, the difference that you get in feeding twice per day and feeding once per day is not very huge. Meanwhile, the difference in finances and expenses in feeding once per day is quite huge. You understand? It's quite considerable. It's quite substantial. So you want to make sure that by 3 months you start feeding once per day. All right. So you feed once per day, and you know, you raise 1,000 fishes with, you know, with about 600 naira per kg per fish, to between 600 to 700 naira, including the cost of fingerlings or juveniles. All right, so that's that. Now for the profits, yes, right now, currently, at least in Ibadan here, we sell a kg of fish for 850 naira. All right, if the fishes are more than 1 kg, you probably can sell them for 900 or 950/1,000 naira per kg, and this is to bulk buyers. That means if I get individual smaller orders, I can probably sell them for more expensive costs. Do you understand that? And of course, the same bottled water you buy for 100 naira on the street is 200 naira somewhere else. So each of us have the places we sell our fish where we get the best prices for it. Do you understand? And it's something you also want to develop, rather than just selling your fishes to fishmongers, because fishmongers will just come. They want to resell, so you can be sure that they will also make their profits. Do you understand that? So I always advise that it's best you also find direct customers for your business, which you only have when you have the fish. All right, you will only have when you have the fish. So yeah, so I've mentioned that you probably sell the fish for about 850 naira to 900 naira per kg, depending on the season. This year I have sold fish for 1,200 naira per kg. Yes, I have sold fish for 1,200 naira per kg this year. So I mean, the sky is your limit. You can do as much as you can, and this is not even adding processing to it. All right, if you wanted to process your fish, that's you want to smoke your fishes, then your fishes don't have to stay to 1 kg. By 300 gram, 500 gram, your fish can go. And if you are using a netting pond like that, like this, you can get it in 2 months, 3 months. All right, in 3 months you should get your fishes to between 300 to 500 gram if you are using a netting pond and you feed twice a day. And with that, your fishes are good to go. So if you use 600 naira to 750 naira to /750 naira to raise 1 kg of fish, By the time you bring it down, that you don't want the fish to get to 1 kg, you want them to get to maybe 400 grams or 300 grams. You know that the money will not be 600. It will also come down to like 250, 300 naira per fish. Do you get that? So yes, that is the production cost of 1,000 fishes, 1,000 fingerlings to table size. However, there are some factors we haven't added. For instance, the cost of staff. If you are doing 1,000 fishes, I'm not really expecting that you now say you are hiring staff for 1,000 fishes. It's too small for you to be able to remove the cost of a staff and still be profitable. Do you get that? Cost of maybe fuel to change water. If you are using a bowl, you're probably having to pump water, unless you have an artisan well that is that brings water from the ground itself. Do you understand? Then cost of renting the pond. If it's an 18 pond, you're probably paying between 50 to 70k or 80k depending on the location. And if it is a concrete pond, I mean, that's a whole facility. All right, so those are other expenses that will come in. Maybe logistics, transporting feed to and fro. Those are other expenses that will come in into your venture that you probably want to think about. All right, but yeah, fish farming is good. Fish farming is profitable. However, every business has its challenges and every business has its ups and downs. Sometimes, you know, some prices go down, you know, and sometimes feed prices go up. All right, so yes, thank you once again. I'll answer all your questions. I answer all the questions. All right, I'll do a video on all the questions and show you, you know, really practical things that we do on the farm. But once again, my name is Akinfish. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing to my video. Ask your questions below or drop your comments and then I'll get to it. So thank you very much. Bye bye. That's all for today.